Okay, first off, I have to thank Rick Creedy for the idea of wearing my cap and gown today. I didn't know what I was going to wear last week, and Rick in Sunday school was like, wear your cap and gown. So, perfect idea. Thank you, Rick. I sometimes struggle with things at school and in ordinary life, and when I have problems, I'll turn to my friends and family from church camp and here and head home. People look down on me like I'm nothing and I don't know anything. Yes, I am a teenager, and I have a lot to learn, but I tend to not let that bother me. Try to stay upbeat and happy and not let stress get to me. When I was younger, I knew a younger man by the name of Andy McLaren. Every time I saw him, he was always upbeat and happy. Not once did I ever see him upset or have a frown on his face. Always in the hallway, always had a smile on his face. High five, just always upbeat and happy. Sadly, he was killed in a car accident not far from the church in November of 2006. I was 9 years old when it happened, and I was devastated. We got an email saying he'd been killed in the car accident, and I was a total wreck. It was not easy for me. I know God put him in my life for a reason, and over the years I have come to the realization of why. Some may call this a God sighting. That's what I'm here talking about today, is all the different places I've seen God at work in my life, and that we should greet it with open arms, whether it's good or bad. Andy shaped my life. I always looked up to him. I've always wanted to be like him, always upbeat and always happy, always there for somebody can look up to. It means a lot to me. I'm going to jump ahead a couple of years to when I was in 7th grade and I had an emergency appendectomy. Some of you may remember that was a Wednesday family night. I was in the hospital, and that was really scary for me. When I was walking up the hill, I saw one of my friends, and I called out to him, and he helped me up the hill from Jardine, and that hill is not easy to climb when you're in a lot of pain. And then I rested. I was resting when I got up to the parking lot, and about that time, Verlee was coming out of the office, and she helped me up into the office to where I could call my grandmother. And that afternoon in itself was a God sighting, because everyone that helped me was in the right place at the right time, and they were happy to help. When my grandma came and got me, she immediately took me to see Letha Zahorik, and she said, "Get him to the hospital now." When I got checked into the hospital after an eventful afternoon with a trip out to Tallgrass, so the doctor could call Stormont to have the emergency room ready and waiting for me, got checked in, and I was about to go get scanned, and Corey showed up. We all prayed and talked for a little bit, and then I had to leave. While I was in surgery, my dad had to go home to get a couple of things, and my mom was in the waiting room. I learned all this after I had woken up from the anesthetic. So, Thad Winkleman was there. I believe it was his mother that was in the hospital that night, and he stayed with Mom until I was out of surgery and my dad had come back. And when I was waking up, I don't remember much, but I do remember that Mom, Dad, and Thad all came and said hi to me, and my sister was with Grandma because she had school the next day, and it was best that she stayed with Grandma. The next day when I was awake and the anesthetics had worn off, Reese and Kathy Weber showed up and said hi to me, and I'll never forget this. Reese came up and said, "What are you doing sitting here in the hospital bed when you could be out on the boat fishing?" Then about an hour later, Cheryl showed up, and we prayed, and I was released about a half hour later. That day and that whole event was full of God sightings, and all the prayers helped to a speedy recovery. I was back to my normal self in about 2 weeks. and I want to thank everybody for all the prayers. A couple years later was the first year I went to praise and worship camp. That camp gave me some of the best friends I could ever ask for. I went through a couple of rough patches going through high school, and they were there to help me through them. I thank God every day I have them. When I was at camp my first year, I was very nervous. I was scared because everybody knew everybody else, and I was the odd person out. I was the new guy. Well, that didn't last long. If anybody knows me, I'm a character. Very friendly. Everybody there was very friendly and very open. And on Wednesday, during that week, I was learning how to play bass guitar in the praise band. Over the last 4 years at camp, we've learned some amazing songs that are so much fun. Some including God's Not Dead by the Newsboys, Build Your Kingdom Here by Wren Collective, Lead Me to the Cross, Overcome by Jeremy Camp, and so many more. This camp to me is a huge God sighting in my life. Every day during the 5 days that we're at camp, I see God's hand at work guiding us and showing us what true friendship and love is. At that camp, we have counselors, but the campers run worship. Some create slideshows for the music and take pictures, and some preach the message in the evenings. We all have our talents at camp, but God gives us everything that we need to be successful. The musicians, the talent to learn the music quickly, the speakers, the words to say in the evenings. It's so amazing. At camp, none of us want to leave on Friday morning. On the last night at camp, we have a campfire and sing a couple of songs. Afterwards, Julie would get out her guitar and we'd sit around a picnic table and she'd play music and we'd sing songs until lights out at 10 o'clock. This summer will be the last time that I'll be able to attend the camp. I'm glad I'm going to be able to go, but I'm sad because it's going to be my last time because I enjoy the fellowship. I enjoy the friendship I have there. I am glad to say that I have left a positive impact on other kids, and that's a God sighting not only to me, but to someone else. It's amazing when your actions influence somebody else's life. We all have a chat feed set up on the Facebook, and if anybody has any praises or concerns, everybody's there to pray for everybody. The fellowship does not end at camp. The fellowship has gone on, and I'm very happy. My most recent God sighting that I have seen are the scholarships I have received from school. I received books and tuition to be the football equipment manager and down in Coffeyville, and the other is a $3,000 scholarship because I played golf for Highland Park High School. It makes me so happy because I'm able to pay for my first year of college and I won't have to take out any student loans. That's a major God sighting. I've got my second year pretty much half paid for from the books and tuition. So I'm very, very happy. My last thing is a challenge. I want everybody to look back on their life so far and find all the God sightings. There's always big ones, and the big ones are easy to find, but it's those small ones that you have to look for. It's the small, detailed ones that really help shape your life. Thank you.